So on average we're getting about 27 per night. Our highest night so far has been 44. Unfortunately we've also had to turn people away this year just because we have been at capacity on multiple occasions. Be surprised at how the weather doesn't really have an influence on our guest numbers. So on a really cold night we could actually have about 30 in, and then the next night we could jump back up to 40. It really just depends who's in the city and how many people the council are actually able to get in together, and that's why something like Glasgow Winter Night Shelter works, is because we're not doing it by ourselves, we're doing it with partners. It's just because we want the best for our guests, and we understand that actually in order to get that we need to work together as a city.
See my partner and I fall out. She's away, we're living together, so we had to be free. Then I was jobless, another job, so I had no choice to be homeless.
Have you already got any help from the council guys here at the shelter?
Yeah, but again, I have some issues waiting for my passport. It's getting renewed, so I can't get any housing yet.
You have some shared experiences, I guess, but everyone has a different reason for being homeless, and that tends to have a big effect on their experience of being homeless. If it's a mental health issue, they maybe live in more fear than other people. If it's a drug addiction issue, then they're just living from drug use to drug use.
The last year, but I was in prison for 12 months, and this time I've been coming here for a bit. Fed up. This is my second night this time. The shelter's my only support at this time, but Michael told me to go try a house in Foster.
Some of the people that you think are the toughest on the outside tend to be the most emotionally brittle. I've had a few occasions where someone's broken down talking to me, and you would not have expected it from the way they carry themselves. You'll see someone that comes in one night, and this might be their first night of being homeless, and they tend to be okay. See, if they're here maybe 2 or 3 nights, they take a pretty big nosedive. There's one guy in particular I can think of. He came in, he was fleeing violence from another area, so he made himself homeless, and within a week he must have lost about 1.5 stone. He'd started injecting drugs. Within a month I couldn't recognise him. He came in with like nice clothes, a handsome guy, charming, charismatic. A month later he was a shell of himself, and then a month after that he lost his leg from a mishap from using drugs. Suicide's usually in the conversation, they're bringing that up, so they've got to the end of their sort of strength and then leaning on someone else at that point.
We're very fortunate in the Winter Night Shelter because we have a lot of positive stories. So last year we saw just under 700 guests, and 75% of them actually went into positive outcomes, and so that's either being accommodated or going home or being reunited with their friends and family. We'd been working with a man who did struggle with addiction, and he was really keen to get out of that cycle, and so we were able to link him in with our day centre. He was put into a rehab programme, and now almost a year later he's clean and he is thriving in the environment that he is in, and that's just because the partnership's working in action. It's great to be able to hear stories where people have been here but then they've moved on and they're a lot happier now. They've got a lot more hope, and that's what's really exciting about the night shelter, when we get to see the glimpses of that hope actually being revealed in someone's life.